So you want to get rich. You see, when I was a kid, I knew that if I wanted to be able to live the sort of life I had always dreamed of, I would need a lot of money. Because the truth is that in this world, the more money you have, the more access you'll have to freedom and to abundance. Growing up, I looked at the adults around me. They all were miserable, working in dead-end jobs with no real opportunities. They were drained of life. So I knew I had to do better. I didn't want to end up like them, spend the rest of my life working for somebody who quite clearly doesn't care about me, stuck in this never-ending hamster wheel. So because I grew up around unsuccessful people, chronically depressed people, addicts, alcoholics, I understood everything I needed to avoid if I wanted to become successful. Because I knew that if I modeled after those unsuccessful people, I would become just as depressed, unsuccessful, and miserable myself. That's also why I figured that if I learned from successful people, if I could figure out their secrets, success would become inevitable. And that is exactly why, I started to read every single book on money and on business that I could get my hands on. Now, as of today, I am running a profitable online business and living the type of life I had always dreamed of as a kid. But all of that didn't happen without its fair share of sacrifices, of hard work, and especially of perseverance. But that is exactly why, in this video, I want to share with you the 12 books that helped me to escape the rat race and to make my dreams come true. For each book, I'm going to share one key lesson with you. And I can guarantee that if you apply those lessons in your life, in your career, and in your business, you'll only become wealthier as a result. Now, if you're curious to dive deeper, you can add these books to your reading list, and I recommend that you go check them out after you watch this video. The first book and the first lesson is from the Personal MBA. One key lesson that this book teaches us is that you don't need to graduate from a fancy school or even to have an MBA to become a successful business owner. In the book, the author gives an example of a study which was done and that found that having an MBA did not correlate in any way with being more successful, running a profitable business, or even making more money. A lot of people think that because they graduated, now they're entitled to making 6 figures a year. But in reality, the market is not going to reward you because you have a degree. The only reason why people are going to pay you, it is because you solve painful problems for them. That's literally it. Now, if you analyze the return on investment to get an MBA, it's actually quite catastrophic. It's not worth it. And that is why I personally did not go to university. I knew that putting 100k, 200k, 300k in a university degree, it would make no sense. So instead of listening to professors who only ever learned about business by reading textbook materials, I could just learn on the field. I could read books written by actual millionaires and billionaires, and at the time I was also consuming lots of educational content made by successful entrepreneurs on social media. So that's how I got my education. And I also joined plenty of courses. Not to mention that, like a lot of people, I didn't have 100k, 200k, 300k to invest. So I would have needed to get in debt to learn worse knowledge than I would have by educating myself on my own. And that is why if you want to build a profitable business, you want to get to $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, maybe even $50,000 per month, you don't need to get massively in debt, get an MBA. Instead, on the internet, you can find everything that you need, whether it be free sources like YouTube or even paid sources like online courses. So unless you want to become a lawyer, a doctor, you'll need to go to university. But if you want to build a life of true freedom, of true abundance, your goal is to get rich, you don't need university. Because trust me, if they told people how to get rich, they wouldn't even be university professors in the first place. Now, in the book, the author also goes to show that universities, like the fancy ones like Harvard, Stanford, they don't actually create successful individuals. Rather, they only accept the brightest students, the one that would have succeeded with or without their help anyway. And then what they do is that they take credit for the students' accomplishments. Now, the other book and the other lesson comes from good to great. You need to get the right people on the bus. So just like in your personal life, if you are surrounded with the wrong kind of people, it's gonna cause you to underachieve and to never tap into your full potential. In business, in your career, it's essentially the same thing. The wrong employees, the wrong contractors, the wrong partners will cause your enterprise to sink. And as a business owner, you are automatically put in a leadership position. But if you truly want to inspire your team to do better, you need to show them how to do it. You need to lead the way. I mean, let's be honest. Who respects a leader who's lazy, who doesn't do the work, yet expects, worse, demands of other people that they do a lot of hard work and make a lot of sacrifices? Of course, no one. That is why, in my opinion, the only true way to be a leader, it is leading by example. From this day forward, you want to live by the following rule. There are no bad teams, only bad leaders. This means that as a business owner, as a leader, it is your responsibility to make sure that everyone within your team is going to perform at their best. At the end of the day, no one is going to care about your business, about your goals as much as you. Now, the third lesson from the third book, which is called Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson, is that you want to create a mass movement. Nowadays, in 2024, and even in the next decade to come, we are entering what experts now call the attention economy. What this means is that to make a lot of money nowadays, it's no longer about having the right connections or being given the right head start in life. I mean, realize this. Nowadays, you can literally become a multi-millionaire in less than 5 years, starting from your bedroom with a computer and a Wi-Fi connection. attention. That has never been heard of in the entire history of mankind. Just a few decades ago, the internet wasn't even a thing. Social media, TikTok, Instagram, these things didn't exist. So list to say that if you were from a middle-class family or low-income family, you were pretty much screwed. To become rich, it was extremely complicated. To even get a shot at it and never be guaranteed to become successful, it would have taken you decades or even your entire life. Nowadays, as we speak, some girls are making more than doctors in a month simply because they have an OnlyFans account. So in the attention economy, it's not about who produces the best products, who gives the best quality services. It is about who gets the most attention. Because at the end of the day, you could have the best products, the best services in the entire world, but if no one knows that you exist, you won't make a single sale. And all of your mediocre competitors, because they get more attention, more visibility than you do, they'll make a lot more money. And if you just take a look at the billion-dollar companies of literally the decade, they make money from your attention. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, they sell your attention, so they're not really free. And that is why building a large fan base on social media can be your best asset in your journey to build more wealth. Nowadays, you can post a piece of content online, a YouTube video, you make an Instagram post, and it can reach anyone, anywhere in the world. Whereas back then with a local business, you were essentially limited to the people in your local area. Like if you had a gym, a restaurant, a hair salon, you'd max out very quickly. And if you wanted to welcome more customers past that point, you'd need to open up another store in another location, which again is very costly. Nowadays, it's free to post a piece of content on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. It's free to reach out to a customer on, let's say, Facebook. But to be able to build a mass movement, you need to become what Russell Brunson defines as a charismatic leader. What this means is that you need to make people relate to your story, but you need to unite people so that everyone is working for a common mission, a common goal. And the best way to do that is to use the power of storytelling. Like, share your journey with people. Be honest, be raw. Share your flaws, your struggles, your vulnerabilities. Because at the end of the day, when you see somebody they're extremely successful, that's great, but you're not really going to learn that much from it. You will learn a lot more from all of their struggles, all the obstacles they had to face, as opposed to seeing them now and they're so successful. And they might give good advice, but again, if you're just starting out, you won't be able to relate or even to comprehend the kind of problems they're facing at their level. Now, lesson number 4 with the 4th book, which is The Richest Man of Babylon, is that you want to establish a consistent savings routine. Let's get one thing out of the way. Saving money is never going to make you rich. There you go, I've said it. However, according to the statistics, in the US, most adults are still living paycheck to paycheck. Now that's a very dangerous way to live, because if anything happens, a car breaks down, an accident, an injury, you're sick, what are you supposed to do? Let's say you need money urgently, right now, cash. If you live paycheck to paycheck, you've got no savings, you're essentially in a very troublesome situation. So not only will saving some money actually bring you more peace of mind, more security should anything happen, but it will also make it easier to take more risks. And oftentimes, a lot of people, they don't start a business, they don't do something, because they're afraid of all of the potential downsides. But nowadays, like I said, with the internet, starting your own online business, it's essentially risk-free. I mean, if you start a service-based online business, the worst that's going to happen to you is that you lose maybe $50. That's the price for a domain name and an email address. Like, that's literally it. But you're never going to go bankrupt because of it. It's not like if you invest in crypto or in dropshipping, in Amazon FBA, you're never going to lose 5k, 10k into your business. So it's a lot easier to start a business when you know that no matter what happens, you'll still have food to eat, a roof over your head. Now, if you're going to save money, like I said, it can be to secure yourself if anything happens, but also to invest in knowledge, in your education. And by that, I don't mean university, unless, like I said, you want to become a lawyer, a doctor. But if you want to learn how to build a profitable online business, the best way to do it, it's with YouTube videos, with books, and with private communities, with online courses from successful mentors. Because the thing is that you don't know what you don't know. You could decide to start your business all on your own tomorrow, but if you're doing the wrong things and you don't even realize it because you don't actually know what to do, you'll be wasting months, years of your life, hundreds if not thousands of dollars, because you're following a process which doesn't work. Everything I've been able to achieve in my life, even just running a profitable online business, I've learned it from other successful people, because you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You simply need to execute on a strategy that already works. Because if you knew how to make $10,000 per month, you would be making $10,000 per month, or at the very least, you would be getting very close to hitting that target. So you've got to be humble enough to realize that you don't know everything. I don't personally know everything. That's why I'm always reading, always following more courses, always asking questions to more experienced people, because I always want to do better. But there is this whole self-made myth out there. People are too afraid to say that they got help from other people. They have so much ego they can't even admit they read books, had mentors. So no one, in my opinion, in reality is actually self-made. Now my team and I, we created the Fastlane Club. We essentially show people just like you how they can make their first $1,000 online in 90 days or less. Now of course we go much further than that, but you'll also get access to a private community of highly dedicated, hardworking entrepreneurs. If you want to learn more about it, it's the second link in the description below. Now the 5th book is called Power by Robert Greene. We need to study human human nature very closely. The thing is that if you don't understand how people work, why they want the things that they want, why certain products actually go viral, and why others, on the opposite, flop completely, you're always going to be broke. Because in business, you need to follow this one key rule. You need to give other people what they want. If you try to always sell products or services which people don't have a need for, and they don't even desire it, you're never going to make any money. Plain and simple. Not to mention that business, and even sales in general, client acquisition, it's a lot like seduction, like dating. Sometimes you can't be straightforward. You have to get to know the person before you actually make a move. So again, if you want to learn more about human psychology, how people work, Power by Robert Greene is one of the go-to books you should start reading. Moving on to the sixth book, which is Hooked. What it teaches us is that we need to make our products addictive. The goal is to keep people coming back again and again and again. If you look at any social media platform, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, that is how they make billions of dollars every single year, because people keep coming back to consume the content on those platforms. Because if you were to sell, let's say, a fridge, most people don't buy a fridge every single year. Now on the opposite, if you were to sell food, shaving cream, razors, or even services that people will need on a monthly basis, like let's say lead generation, people will need to keep using your services or to keep buying from you time and time again. One way to scale a business and to make more money, it's to make your customers come back again and again and again. And that is why it's essentially very smart to, like I said, sell products with an expiry date, or on the opposite, to sell monthly recurring services like video editing, lead generation, copywriting, etc. Moving on to the next book, which is The Intelligent Investor. You need to understand that emotions are going to cloud your judgment. Let's be honest, why do most people fail their New Year's resolutions? Like every single year, it's the same story. Everyone you know says that they're going to lose weight, stop smoking, stop drinking, go to the gym, start a business, get promoted, whatever. But then you take a look at those same people, a week later, 2 weeks later, for the most persistent, they actually gave up on their resolutions. The reason why this happens is because people listen to their emotions. They know consciously, logically, what makes the most sense. They know it's better to go to the gym as opposed to eating some pizza every day. They know they should start their business if they want to make more money and experience a better life, a more fulfilling life. But the reason why they actually don't take action, it's because they listen to their emotions. They don't feel like working, they don't feel like going to the gym, so they just don't do it. And then those same people, they live the same life on repeat every single year. And then as they get older, they realize the mistake they've made. They could have lived a great youth, accomplished all of their dreams, but because they were too scared, they ended up doing nothing. And the worst thing that can ever happen to you, it's lying on your deathbed, you're looking back at your life, you realize that you went after none of your dreams. Why? Because you were afraid. And speaking about emotions, that is also why a lot of people who start a business around their passion actually end up failing, because they're only taking into consideration their needs, their desires, their feelings, when in reality, like I said, what matters more is that you give people exactly what they want. Moving on to the next book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. You want to develop the ability to make a friend out of literally anyone. I can't even tell you just how social skills completely changed my life. I mean, it opened up so many doors, so many new opportunities I was too blind to see before. And besides, you never know what one single meeting with one person, one conversation is going to lead to. For all you know, you could meet your next business partner, and together you're about to make millions of dollars. You could meet the love of your life, and with them, you'll have a wonderful, amazing, happy and loving life. But if you're too scared to start a conversation, you might miss out on a great potential friend or partner. But not only that, business is all about people. This means that you'll always have to deal with people, and that is exactly why, if you want to make a lot of money, become extremely rich, social skills are extremely important. Moving on to the ninth book, Deep work. You want to do intense focused periods of work without any distractions. The truth is that if you want to get ahead of 99% of people, you need to produce higher quality work and faster than most. And that is impossible to achieve unless you learn how to focus. Contrary to popular belief, the reason why most people are not what they want to be in life, it is not because they don't have the time. It's because they can't focus. Studies have shown that on the average 8-hour workday, most people only really work for 2 to 4 hours at the maximum. So that's a whole lot of time wasted. Instead, you want to practice the ability to do deep work. Set a timer for 45 minutes, up to 90 minutes. Put on some headphones, listen to binaural beats, close the doors, the windows, and just try to focus as hard as you can. Very quickly, you'll enter what we call a state of flow. It means you become one with the task. You are completely focused on exactly what you are doing in the present moment. All doubts, all fears, all thoughts of the future just fade away. And that is when you'll be able to do your best work. Moving on to the next book and the next lesson. The one thing, you want to focus on the essentials. The 80-20 principle, which is ironically yet another book, teaches us that only 20% of our actions are responsible for bringing 80% of the results that we get. So in your business, and even in any area of your life, you want to ask yourself the following question. What are the 20% of activities that bring me 80% of the results? And then you want to double down on those activities. And trust me when I say that if you do this, the results that you get will blow your mind. If you have a service-based online business, you want to get better results, oftentimes you need to reach out to more people. If you are a content creator, oftentimes you need to publish more content or upgrade the quality of your content. Moving on to the 11th 10th book, $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozy. You want to make offers so good, people would feel stupid saying no. Most people are not ready to buy right now. They might come across your service, your product, but they're not ready to pull the trigger just yet. So only a small fraction of the people who actually get to see your offer will pull out their credit card and go buy it. But your goal as a business owner is to make an offer. It's so good, it would make people feel stupid to say no. Improving your offer is going to significantly increase your conversion rate, which is the amount of people who go from being a viewer, a passive viewer, to an active buyer, a customer. And the best way to come up with the best offers, it is to speak with your market. That is why sales calls are an amazing way to learn more about your market, about their current situation, their desires, their problems, their needs, what they want. Now, if you'd like to figure out what is the best online business to start as a beginner, I've recorded an entirely free video in which I'm going to analyze every popular online business model. Together, we'll take a look at the pros, at the cons, and I'm also going to share with you, for completely free, the 3-step process that you can use to get your first customers as quickly as possible. It's the first link in the description below. Now, book number 12 is the Lean Startup. The lesson it teaches us is that we want to test frequently and adapt quickly. Like we've seen it in business, no one cares about you. You need to give the market what it needs and what it wants. And that is exactly why you absolutely need to listen to the feedback that the market is giving you. And then based on that feedback, based on that new data, you change your offers. You change sometimes even your products or the services that you provide. And as you do that, money is going to be raining. And what this also means, it's that when you have new ideas, you want to put them to the test literally as quickly as possible. You don't want to take 48 hours a week. Sometimes even people take 2 weeks to make a decision. You want to just do a small scale test, and if it works, just do more of it. The bottom line is this: if you do more of what works, less of what doesn't, you're guaranteed to become extremely successful. Speed matters a lot in business. It only takes a fraction of a second for your competition to move faster than you and to take the spot that could have been yours. With that said, if you apply these 12 lessons in your business, you're guaranteed to become a lot more successful.